Hello. What is up, everyone? Can you hear me? Sorry, we're a few minutes late this morning. We are using the YouTube chat. If you're one of my wolves from Discord, you're one of my students. Can y'all hear me? Oops. Ah, yes. Awesome. Where's everyone joining me from this morning? Usually got people all over the world in this stream. Trips me the hell out. Okay. Let me make sure my wolves know that we've begun. A lot of Canadian traders, huh? Super popular in Canada. Mexico. ¿Qué pasó, güey? Ah, no mames. No mames, cabrón. Any Texans in here? Any Texans? I'm trying to put together kind of a monthly club for Texas traders over here, Dallas. What's up, Jules? What's up, everyone? All right, well, let's get going. Enough small talk for the moment. Hope you guys had an amazing weekend. And we're going to kind of just get straight into it, all right? For those who have never been with me, welcome. We're going to go straight into plans. We're going to go into the scans. My goal on Monday mornings is to get over here and kind of show you guys process a little bit, which is all that really matters. You know, when I do these streams, I'm just trying to show you pre-market process for me, what's important to me, what I'm looking at, what I think is important in terms of the markets and what sectors and what strategies and patterns are in play. Because if you're newer, you know, it kind of seems, well, first of all, feels very random, but you come in with the expectation that there's a set of patterns that you get to trade, right? And those patterns make you money, when it's really not the case. It's actually so far from the truth, right? The strategies, the patterns, all the setups, they actually come and go. And sometimes they go away for a long time. And most of the setups that are pushed on YouTube and just in general in retail trading are widely accepted terrible strategies for small cap specifically and mid cap stocks and really volatile plays, right? The ones that you're looking for that move a lot. So that's why I come out here to try to show you that, you know, it's not like that. It's not all rainbows and, you know, unicorns, but a lot of frustration, a lot of work, you know. And sometimes things don't just pan out, right? And the setups, again, it's not about the setups. So while we go through the setups a lot, I show you them. I try to let you know when I think they're in play or not in play. It's what you're doing with the rest of your game that's really going to set you apart or not. And let's get right into it, okay? Whenever I'm looking at my scan, first of all, the company that I use is SCANZ, Scans, okay? I've been using them a really long time. This is their basic scan. It's super, super duper basic, right? A lot of people are going to try to sell you really expensive scanning stuff and proprietary this and schmietary that, right? And it's really not that complicated, right? It's about getting the experience. And then really at the end of the day, we're just trying to find volatile plays that can then move, right? We want stocks that can move freely, okay? And then it's about volume, really, at the end of the day. So when I'm narrowing things down, first of all, this scan, like I said, there's no one scan that's going to just spit the plays out for you, right, every day. It's about gaining the experience to understand what can move and what can't move in the first place, how far things are moving at the time. So we're in a market right now. Obviously, we got, if you look at SPY last week and over the last few weeks, this is what's going on right now, okay? Here's our big panic, right? When all the retail traders are like, sell everything, everyone's going to die, is pretty much what happened a few weeks ago. Go back to any influencer, anyone who like trades the markets, right? Who trade like futures and stuff, and go back to what they were saying during that week. Most of them were like, sell everything you got. We're all going to die. Big bounce up by highs. Thesis still intact. If you go back to all my pre-market preps and all my lives from this year, mentioning they're just going to run it all the way into the election. Okay. All the way into the election. So that's it. Overall markets intact for now. Nothing crazy going on. Probably see new highs this week. That's what it's looking like to me as of this morning. Right, as of this morning, no big gap up or gap down for now. Okay. Sorry, 1 second. Just got a call. Okay. Let's get back to my scan really quick because I just want to get back to that for you. Okay, quickly, back on this note. Okay, here's my scan. This is any stock. If you look, that's done 500,000, $500,000 in dollar volume today, right? Usually pre-market, I'll even go to 50,000. That's how low I start pre-market at. And then generally speaking, I'm trading percent gainers, right? But the way the markets have been, I also like to check percent losers just to kind of see what's gapping down from last week, right? Because usually you go to your percent losers, and what you're going to see there are the biggest running stocks from last week or from yesterday or from the day before. Does that make sense? And in this market, we've been getting a lot of tickers that look like this. We've been getting a lot of tickers that look like this, right? Multi-day moves. Multi-day movers, which equate to bigger picture setups. Okay, this is super important. Bigger picture setups. Day one gapper, day two gapper. This thing went from $1, right? WHLR went from 1 to 12 in 2 days. Okay. Here's the first red day, and this would have, like I said, popped up on my percent losers, right? But either way, we're tracking these, right? There was a long here that we spoke about last week on the bounce at a key area, right? Which was resistance from day one, which was a big day. Whoops, I already have it up there, right? So you got to bounce from there. Very basic technical analysis, right? As short sellers get squeezed and we get some bounce, first green day bounce right here. And you get range from 6 to 10, great range, okay? Then we even had a secondary first green day bounce that was almost better. Not quite, but about the same range bounce-wise, right? Off of the rest of that support from day one. And you got a 4 to 7, right? So we're getting long, drawn-out, multi-day, multi-week moves still, and that's been throughout the year. Okay, and because of that, yeah, I'm checking top percent losers. I'm seeing, hey, what ran last week? Right? What ran last week? Is there something that may be coming up to key levels? Set price alerts on WHLR, for example. If you're waiting for good levels to trade, right, for a nice bounce, set alerts. We don't have to get in the way of these big day ones right now, which is cool, which have been somewhat unpredictable. Okay. When I say day one move, I mean the first day of these moves right here, where we've get like morning, like what am I supposed to do with a straight morning spike from 1 to 2? It's kind of tough. All right. In other words, let's get to today's. I'm just trying to show you that. Okay, let's get one more thing. Sorry, I have an allergies, y'all. I can tell you with certainty, relative certainty, if you're a struggling trader right now, that there's never been a better market to get a grip on your trading, right? There's never been a better time to get a grip on your trading. But you need to learn macros first, especially small cap, right? It's not about these buy the breakout. It's not the intraday nonsense. I talk about it all the time. All the time, okay? NCNAs are top percent gainer. 161%, 13 mil volume. Let me actually filter out real fast. So generally speaking, this is what I'll do. About an hour, 2 hours before market open will be $500,000 volume. Sometimes during pre-market, I'll leave it at 50,000 just in case something PRs and I don't see the PR and it comes creeping up my scan really fast. All right. But for now, here's every ticker, right? This is every single ticker here that's traded $500,000 in dollar volume and it's up 5%. So it's actually not too many tickers that we have eyes on this morning. From there, I'm going to go like this, really quack. Can you hear opinion with T-Non, a reverse split with no news? What happened with T-Non? Yeah, we're going to get to that. Okay, we're going to get to that. We have a few minutes. NCNA says the float is 39 mil. Okay, on NCNA. This is dilution tracker on the right. This is what I use for fundamentals, which gives me kind of the bigger picture on the ticker. What are they doing fundamentally? How has their share count grown or not grown over time? Are they super dilutive, right? What's the overall risk on this ticker that they're going to dump? This is what I was talking about earlier, okay? Short sellers like to use this a lot. A lot of the short seller brokerages, believe it or not, come with this software now, or this, a membership to this site. So in terms of edge, it's not an edge thing. I feel like to the long side, it might still be a bit of an edge to use this just because most people aren't even looking at fundamentals, okay? And specifically in small cap and smash alike, it is crucial. It is crucial. This on the right is what governs everything that we do, okay? And we can see here, overall risk, these guys aren't bad. Overall risk of what? What do you mean overall risk? Overall risk that NCNA today goes from having a float that says 39 mil here and the float are the amount of tradable shares to a float that's 50 mil next week. In other words, at like 10 million of the volume where people are buying are not a buyer and just a random seller, but you buying and them taking new shares like a magic poof into thin air and selling those to you. So, you want to buy it. Someone else wants to sell it, but they're jumping in with these fresh shares that they're dumping into the market. That creates excess supply, right? Overhead supply that you cannot overcome, and that technical analysis won't fucking tell you. And it will. It'll show. Don't get me wrong. It will actually. The fundamentals manifest. Okay, they manifest in the charts. The fundamentals will manifest in the charts, right? Here's a great example. Here's ALLR. Look at this. High risk. Looks like they got an ATM, right? Their float is small. Their float is 1.4. Their shares outstanding is small. But their overall risk is high of dumping. Their ability is medium. They've got a bunch of overhead supply already, right? And historically, they dump. Here's their share count, right? Of 1 point whatever. They have 6 times the amount of shares tradable and shares that they can dump at the market. Does that make sense? So now let's go to ALL's chart. I just want you to see over time what I mean by this, right? And I have some right now. They did a split and I've been working on the pump. I guess they put out a PR this morning and it hasn't really gotten going. So I have a tiny position tiny reverse split pump swing on this. It was my only over weekend position. And the only reason I'm in this right now is because of this. Super important to understand. See TNON? Split pump. Okay? Crazy split pump, y'all. Sorry, I was just checking something. Huge run, right? Big runs for splits recently. Last week, right, was very split centric. TNON, obviously. I don't think SMX was one, was it? What was it? What else? QH? Was QH one? Or was that the Chinese? No, that got the Chinese sector going for a few days recently, too. They've not been able to bounce, really. Little first green day. What else did we have last week? WHLR bounce. I think BKYI maybe. Not so much a split pump. Either way. Okay, now let's get to charts one more time. Go back and watch the last few lives when you guys get a chance, if you haven't, and you're new here. And I do more masterclass style. I think the last 2 or 3 live sessions are masterclass style, like longer, where I get way more into this fundamental thing that I was speaking about and all that good stuff, okay? Because we're going to be running out of time shortly here in about 7-8 minutes. If you guys have any tickers you want me to check out, if you guys have any questions, you have 10 minutes for that, all right? If you want to join the pack, I do pre-market prep every single day, live webinars every day. I've got my 6-figure students now and 7-figure students jumping on board to teach and mentor people, and we do one-on-one mentorship. It is the greatest stock trading group in the history of stock trading groups, in my opinion. At least for what we do, you know, small, mid-cap, volatile stocks, long for the most part, and short. And, you know, people trade whatever they want, obviously, but it's more what we specialize in, what I specialize in teaching. And then, yeah, it's just a very unique group. It's one of the longest groups out there, right? Obviously, there's like 1 million trading groups now. When I started, there weren't. And when I got on Discord, I think we were one of the first 3 trading chats ever on Discord. Now there are thousands and thousands of them, so it's kind of cool. But because that it's an amazing group, I think there's a link below. I'll be in Vegas. I'll be in Vegas pretty soon. October 11th, 10th and 11th, I think, if you go to rwtrades.com. And then go to boot camps, I think it is. I'll be in Vegas. It'll be a smaller group, 2 days, 2-day boot camp there, where we'll have basically 2 full days of live trading and lessons. And I've got a couple surprise millionaire trader guests who are going to join me and come drop some serious wisdom there. So if you want to join, that's it's actually Traders for Cause. It's the weekend of. Mine's Thursday, Friday, and then there's Traders for Cause that weekend. So head to the site for that. I think there's a link below if you want to join the Wolf Pack. Yeah, it's the best. But let's move on. NCNA, big gap, right? Big gap stick. What's the news this morning? I forgot. A 6K. Phase 2, new tide. It looks like phase 2 news. Combination with pembrolizumab. This is metastatic melanoma refractory, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So it looks like some phase 2 news is all it is. And when I say all it is, it's good news, but they will dilute, even though it says they're not dilutive. Biotechs, y'all, in particular. I love biotechs. They're very predictable, okay? They can move a ton when they get pumped. Generally speaking, for them to keep going, right? For them to get these drugs to market is extremely expensive. It takes a lot of money, so they end up doing a lot of offerings, right? And it takes a long time for these drugs to get to market. So you're talking 2 or 3 years, 4 years, 5 years sometimes, and they're putting out a PR today. They're not going to go forever. They're going to go as long as they can get, and when I mean go forever, like NCNA, for example, good PR. Right now they've gone from 250 to $7. They're not going to go to $100 usually. Maybe once in a great while before, getting beaten up. They need cash. They're going to use this. Okay. I like to go through and just get my levels using very, very basic support and resistance here. Okay. Something like this on a 30-minute chart. Right. This is kind of how I'll look at these. Maybe something like this. Right? In terms of areas where I expect some bounce, and obviously thesis being, if I'm a short seller, first of all, I'm chomping at the bit to short this thing, right? It's up a ton, it's going to go down eventually. Nice. And if as you go down, you're obviously 30 minutes keeps it nice and clean for me to find key levels is the key here. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, this is technically likely to go to 10. Okay. The only thing I'll say is that it's bigger float. It does look like it is a bigger float here. Let me see. Never mind. It's weird. The float on dilution tracker says much smaller. So here's an example. And I mean, even pre-market, it's moving somewhat differently. What's this gap down from? Okay. Whenever I'm looking at a daily chart, and that's a big part of processes, obviously you see me, I'll go from scan to daily chart first. Whenever I get to a daily chart, then there's a gap down like that. I got to know why. And that to me looks like bad news, right? It could be an offering. Oftentimes it's an offering when you see a big pop and that. Let me see. August 29th. So I'm going to go back and check out what was the news on August 29th. And that ends up with me here. And there was news. And they had an update for phase 2 colorectal cancer study, right? So like I said, I was correct. This gap down was from bad news, not from an offering, right? Now this morning, they've got good news on something else, it looks like. But also there's bag holders. Really interesting, actually. Looking chart, Only thing I'll say is it didn't spike with big volume when it spiked recently, and it showed how much it could spike. So it's a free flowing ticker. In terms of dilution, they do have 1 million shares left in their ATM as of the last time they reported. I've had some huge trades on tickers with bad news and then good news. Some huge trades just because of the conviction that was lent to me. But this has already retraced most of the gap down from the bad news. Does that make sense? Markets are open. In fact, look where it just opened up. And it's a big deal to me. So on an intraday pattern, this tells me it's going to 10 today. Okay. Just real quick, we're going to wrap up in a few minutes. Smash a like if you want me to go 5 more minutes, and then I got to go. Hey, Tanner, are you ready for the Tanner NAR this morning? Is Tanner in here? Anyways, this is... Yes, likely to hit 10 today at some point. It already kind of tried to right straight off of the PR this morning, which is pretty wild if you look at that. I'm sorry. Here, after hours. Is that after hours or is that this morning? That's this morning. Okay. Only two ideas for me would be dip behind this region. It's already here. I'm probably going to let it be. The best thing I can do, the most, and listen, if y'all want tangible results for the rest of this year, okay, first of all, join the pack. That's where it's at. It'll help a lot, I promise. Second of all, get macro, right? Kind of ignore the day ones is what I'm trying to say. Ignore NCNA today is what I'm trying to say. Okay? It's exactly what I'm trying to say. Like, what are you going to do with it up here? Where's it going? A 10? I could. Could it fill 4 first? I could. Okay. Do you have edge chasing it up here and playing around? Not necessarily. Okay. Nice morning spike right there. 70 cents, you know. Levels over overhead levels. Right? I would kind of look at it like that. Okay, so if I'm like long the spike, just got to sell into these levels, right? Or I got to wait for pools and all that stuff. So I'm going to let NCNA work out without me for now. Okay, and see how it sets up. Maybe third day surge, maybe first green day bounce, maybe day 2 gap, right? See how it sets up for this afternoon, and maybe I can hit, you know, if one of these levels holds and I can get a reversal or something like that and get a good entry, then maybe that. Okay. Oh, no Tanner Nar. Sorry, y'all. Tanner's power's out. Tanner's one of our mentors, moderators, and procurer of swing trades, let's call him. All right, y'all. So it's going to be me this morning. Okay. It's going to be me. NCNA ATM is in the money. Yes, indeed. But it's not, it's a million, you know, it's not the craziest thing I've ever seen. They've had it already for a while, right? Volume is big today. Again, I'm just looking at it like they have filled this gap already. And so any edge in this has kind of diminished for me. And the only play left is a more risky play to try to take it to 10, I guess is what I'm trying to say here. What else have we got? We've got ZNTL this morning, right? Kind of a fresh first green day. It says the float is 51 mil. It's not even in this. Is this an IPO or something? No. There's no information on dilution tracker. Announces FDA has lifted partial clinical hold. That's good news. So there was obviously a clinical hold on one of their drugs, which is bad. That's probably what this is, and if I'm going to guess. Okay. I'm guessing that this is bad news and that they've lifted part of that here. So a similar thing potentially to NCNA there. Just it looks like the float's bigger to me. Scan says 51 mil. Dilution tracker has nothing. Maybe someone can hit me with one. Here will be another example of one, though, that I'm just going to give time, see what it does this morning, see how things shake out, right? Spike into highs. So easy to ignore. I hope it goes higher and rips and more volume comes in and it has a beautiful day one and sets up for either a third day surge or a first green day bounce. That is what I'm hoping for. So when I'm looking at these things now and the lens I'm trading on under right now, It's so easy to ignore NCNA for me. It's super duper easy. Fives I kind of want, right? Well, for me, this pattern, when it goes from 2 to 7 and then potentially 10, you know, I'd like to try to get the dip buy in the fives. It doesn't always work for me, unfortunately, but so we'll see how things shake out this week. This morning, see how NCNA holds up. I suspect we see fives or something hold and push. I don't think it's going to break straight down. I'll be watching some of last week's runners. Okay. See, okay, let's hit some tickers real fast that you all are mentioning. VRAX, hate them. I'm not big into the vaccine companies, but that's a nice pre-market move, certainly for VRAX. Okay, what was their news? 2.4 in the float. Extension of existing exclusive distribution agreement to market Mpox, formerly monkeypox virus, real-time PCR detection kits. Oh my gosh, yeah, VRAX, yeah, they got the monkeypox detection kits. Okay. And I'm assuming this is why they've been running recently too, was monkeypox. It is. Now I remember. Yep, monkeypox ticker. Kind of dead to me, right? I haven't until I start seeing it in the news again, a bunch of people with monkeypox. And if you do, you know where to come, okay? But for me, it's kind of a moot situation, and the chart's ugly. It's already done volume. It's already recently traded. It's already got a bunch of overhead. There's no rhyme or reason in the move. In other words, from a macro, which is all that matters. Okay, right? Like y'all get to the scan and y'all pull up the ticker like this, like this. Yeah, you know, this is what y'all do, and I only say y'all because I did it for a really long time. Like, okay, what's the ticker? Oh, look. And then you're off to the casino, right? Like, okay, I'll buy it when it goes through here. Right? Initially, like, all right, sweet. If it goes through here, I'm going to buy some for sure. Okay. Billy, we call you Billy, right? That's how all new traders kind of start. I hope it goes up here so I can buy some, which is crazy. And it makes sense. And everything bad that happens to new traders in the markets happen because of this instinct. And then everyone, short sellers, the people who dump shares, right? The institutional investors, they dump on you there. Right? If you can understand one thing before I go, and I talk about this every week, I try to nail this home. If you can figure out how do I sell to that person with the eyes up there, how do I get good risk reward ratios and sell to that person even better? Watch. What do I mean by that? Last note, smash a like for this last lesson, please. I'll hold. I'll wait so you have time. Smash a like. I'll wait till you have time. Okay. Thanks. Now, I'm not going to trade this because, again, when I get to the macro, I don't like it. Does that make sense? I'm teaching you, though, in terms of very general ideas. Forget VRAX, forget everything, right? Just the chart itself, okay? The instinct to buy through here and how to sell here and why it's important to sell there, okay? Is that if I can sell there from any point in the chart and maintain a set risks, find an area to risk. In this case, let's say $3 I want to risk, right? I think it's going to bounce here for some reason. Maybe there's some pre-market support. Maybe it's a big deal from earlier this week too, and it's a key level, right? Now the game is, how do I get good risk reward to my targets? In this case, this is my entry. Look, everyone's talking like 1 to 1, 1 to 3 is what I want. Yeah, 1 to 3 minimum. I definitely feel that. 1-to-1, 1-to-2, that can happen. Sometimes I have trading now where that's what I actually rely on, is just trying to get my win rate up and just get some W's, okay? But the idea here is that any entry above, for me, right? Any entry above the low 320s, okay? If I'm risking 3 with a 415 idea as my target, is a bad entry. It's not worth it, okay? So when you're chasing it as it's going towards high of day, I'm looking at it as y'all got total inverse risk reward, and over time, maybe not today, but over time, you're going to lose, right? I'm talking about even if this is you and you've gotten better and you're like, okay, I'm going to sell up there too, but I'm buying it up here. Does that make sense? I hope it makes sense, right? And my goal as a trader, and specifically to the long side with what I do in these small and mid cap stocks, which are the most explosive, period, right? But are the most dangerous for reasons I always talk about. This becomes super important over time, that I'm getting profiles like that, even if I want it. And as I got better, I realized, okay, well, high a day I should use as a target. Okay. So my targets would be there. Whoops. My targets would be there. My targets would be high of day. My targets would be VWAP, wherever VWAP is, right? I'll use this one. I saved crap on there. Take the bands off. Right? So high a day, VWAP, kind of the same area. That'd definitely be a target for me, right? And look, if with the right entry in the right risk area, I can get 1-to-4 to there. Do you know what I'm trying to say, y'all? Please smash the like for this. It's super duper, super important. And when this doesn't work, and if it did what this just did right now, it's really, really easy. In fact, it's the easiest the trade will get. And as long as I'm cutting here, listen, please smash the like. Please understand this, and I gotta move on to my people. As long as you're cutting right here, that's what maintains this over time, okay? That's what maintains this over time and allows the magic to happen over time, even with a sub 50% win rate. If you're doing this correctly, okay, you can be profitable. I have students that are profitable right now who have just became profitable after trading for years with other people, simply by shifting some of their ideas like this and then getting more macro on it. Does that make sense? Let me know in chat. Please check OMIC. Smash the like. What about it? It looks great for first green day bounce or something. Only issue I have on this, illiquid for these days. That's illiquid, okay? 1 million shares yesterday on Friday. I'm sorry, 1 million shares on this day, this tiny little pebble. I think that was because it was kind of after hours. 3 million on Friday, and today they've done a couple handful of shares, okay? Very illiquid, no entry, no trade. There's just no trade for me on something like this, all right? Just because stocks are up doesn't mean there's a trade to me. And oftentimes if they're up and they're up by highs, there's definitely no trade to me. Where's your edge, right? To me, where's this fucking thing going to go? To the moon? I don't know. Who cares, right? My edge is figuring out how to get to these, right? Ahead of time if I can, but then trade them correctly right now from a macro point of view, where it's actually so much more predictable right now, okay? OBLG, third day surge, someone's mentioning. Yeah, has a third day surge looking pattern for sure. But it did gap down today. Let's check out this range on OBLG. It's not the biggest range or volume, to be fair. And then you have to also go back and look at what's the catalyst as well, right? So, all right, I do got to move on. I'm really sorry. We have to move on to my people because that's how it is. If you want to be one of my people, I do pre-market prep like this every morning, straight into live trading every morning. Plus now I've got other 6 and 7 figure students also giving webinars. So we've kind of overload our people with information. Great information. We do power hour prep, not just pre-market prep. I'll do power hour prep. Looking for Las Vegas dates. Yeah, let me throw it up for you real quick. I'll get you that so you can see boot camps. Where is Vegas? Sorry. Someone have the Vegas page? We'll drop it for you. Supposed to have it here. All right, y'all. Let's see what else we got. That's it. Any questions for my YouTube? I'm actually gonna, if there are any YouTube questions, let's give you one more shot here. Thanks, Tanner. Yep, there's for Vegas. Thank you. What do I see when I have the highest conviction that reversal is happening after gap and crap already occurred? Level 2 plus volume plus key area. It's all 3. It's going to be level 2, volume, key area. I'll watch tape at those key areas. I'm looking for short traps, right? I'm looking for nice wicks that come through, that break down lows and then hold immediately. For fake outs, I'm looking for soaking. So I'm looking for small orders on the bid, taking up a lot of volume in that area as well. A lot of selling pressure and then seeing it hold. I'm looking at it from the lens of I am short. I want it to go down further. And then I watch it first of all. Okay. Which I think makes it different, right? Because I'm not sitting there like eager to get in it. I'm actually eager for it to break down. So there's a different mentality that I take when I'm looking for reversals, trading price action like that. I want to feel like a short. I'm rooting for it to go down, and then I'm waiting for the stock to give me that palpable sense of this might be the bottom, and I should cover because it's going to go up and I'm going to give up gains. Does that make sense? Please let me know in chat, and please smash the like, because the biggest part about trading to me is not these patterns like I talked about. It is mentality. It is how I speak to myself, which is why I stream every day for my students, because I want them to hear naturally myself speak every day, not just when I'm in front of you guys once a week. You know what I mean? Where a lot of people can just pretend to have their shit together. My students get to hear me not have my shit together, but then they get to hear me pull it together as a pro. Like, what makes me a pro, really, at the end of the day, you know, is being human, but then is having the ability to reel it in, not be emotional because of that and do a bunch of dumb crap, but find the next trade. Because if I'm missing something, that's good. Runners bring runners, bigger runners breed bigger runners. Bigger runner in the right sector starts a whole sector momentum, right? Macro events start sector momentum. I got to be ready. So, have any macro videos? I think there's one on there where I talk big picture, but either way, I will. We're going to get more for sure. In fact, right after this is done, I've got, my film team coming here to film some YouTube videos for y'all. They're on their way. Okay. Let's see what we got going on one more time. If you're one of my wolves, we are going to run it. All right. So meet me, please, in the stage. All right. On Wolf stage. Let's go. For everyone else, thank you so much for joining me this morning. If you are, if you want to join the pack, link down below. I think we've got a coupon code down there too, or it's automatically 10 or 15 or 20% off or something like that. And And if not, stay tuned for our YouTube videos this week. Okay. And kick ass this week, y'all. Stay safe. Learn the macro stuff. Start to get into fundamentals. Understand there's a lot more going on behind the scenes, especially with these tickers than meets the eye. And that's why they don't move like you think they're going to, really, at the end of the day. But once you understand that and you understand how scammy the companies are and what's going on from a fundamental perspective, the technicals make sense. Okay. And that's why everyone's like, small cap's a scam. Yeah, it is. It totally is. But it's a very learnable scam. The rest of it is also a scam. Okay. The SPY is a scam, right? The markets, everything. Yeah. I believe the markets are pretty fake these days and ran by computers. Okay. The problem is it's random, those scams. Ours are palpable. Like, here's what they're doing. This is what this company needs to do. They hired this company to do that for them. This company, you go to their website, they say, here's our algo. We do algos and we do block trades and we specialize in providing liquidity for non-liquid stocks. There's no secrets, okay? And then you go back to the filings and they're like, yeah, we dumped last month. We took a fat dump on everyone, actually. Took the biggest fucking dump on y'all, right? Hopefully this is going to paint a picture. I'm trying to paint a really important picture for you right now, okay? About being dumped on. So when you're losing, you're not only losing money, but you got some rich asshole and institutional investors building, laughing as they are shitting on you. And you got the company themselves who put out a PR about their cancer, right? Like, look at these fucking idiots. They're going to buy it. And then who are those fucking idiots? Those are you and me, right? And then we buy it and the stock goes up, right? And then the institutional investor, like I said, they dump and they're in cahoots and they're all laughing because NCNA is going to get money. Whoever runs their offerings, they're going to get money. And you and I are going to buy this stock. We're going to chase it through fucking 8, right? With all the shorts that are also getting screwed because the companies and institutional investors and algos are also using, okay? They're also using the short sellers cover volume. That's why the stocks, by the way, reverse right these days. Instead of just dying off, right? The midday, some of them call them zombie hour reversals. Some of them call them this. Some of them call them that. That's an algo taking control and pushing them back to the top so they can grind out more liquidity. Okay? And fill more shares without doing what? Affecting price that much. It's the whole goal. They say it on their websites. All right? Don't believe me? Go to H.C. Wainwright's website. Go look. Go to their website, go to About. I did it in one of the last webinars. They tell you. All right. So I love you all. I got to roll. If you're one of my pack members, we're going to switch off of YouTube right now and into our live trading session. Okay. Thank you guys so much for joining me this morning. Stay safe. We are finally going to get YouTube videos out, right? So that you guys get those cranking again. Vegas at the end of the month, come say what's up, come change your game, change your life. It's going to be a fun one too. And then we will catch you guys in 1 week for our next live session. All right. Stay safe. Love you all. Have an amazing week. Wolves, assemble.